Today again, I am talking about overcoming negative emotions. And I'd like to say just a few words about fear. Perfect love casts out fear, the Bible tells us. And the more that we can cultivate the love of God, especially, the less we will live in fear. I remember a time when I was 16 years old and just had gotten my driver's license, and my aunt arranged for me to have a job interview at the insurance company of a friend of hers. And my aunt was a real estate agent in our little small town. And she was very much loved, a very sort of important figure in this little town on the Chamber of Commerce and so on. And so she arranged for this first job interview for me. And I remember I left in plenty of time to make it to the appointment. And I drove in and parked the car, and I was walking up the street to go to the job interview. And just before I crossed the street, I just stopped and I froze. And I turned around. And it was like, I can't do this. I can't just march in there and be interviewed and meet people that I've never met before. And I don't know if I can do that job. It was a receptionist, and it involved typing and filing, and I was scared to death. And so I turned around, and then I thought, you can do this. What is the matter with you? You can't back out from this now. Turn around and get in there and do it. And so I marshaled my forces, and I turned around, I crossed the street, and I went in there and I got the job. And I worked there until I went to college. And it wasn't until well into adulthood, decades later, that I put together that there was no question I was going to get that job. My aunt had set it up. And I think maybe even at the end of the interview, the head of the office said, so when do you want to start to work? Because it was already a fait accompli. There was no question about it. But in my mind, it was such a big deal. So what we need to realize is that just like my little aunt, my Aunt Shirley, who had set me up for this job, God is behind the scenes. He is helping us. And all of these things that we are so fearful about, God knows the answers. God knows why it's happening. He's helped us set it up. It's for a purpose so that we can learn something. If we trust in Him, it's all going to be okay. He will keep in perfect peace all those who trust in Him, the Bible tells us. And that's what we need to do more and more. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. That's what we need to cultivate in our lives. We can't wait until the moment of crossing the street to go into the interview to start thinking about God. We have to make it a daily practice to involve God in every thought, every feeling, every action. And in that way, He will keep us in perfect peace.